Welcome to the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast, where we explore, explain, and discuss what makes us a whole lot of women in today's society. I created the Whole Lotta Woman brand to embrace the 4 traits that I feel make someone a whole lot of woman in today's world, and those are beauty, brain, strength, and standards. We'll be covering a variety of topics from relationships to real estate. If you would like to join this sisterhood, please subscribe, share with a friend, and stay tuned for more.
I won't be defined, stars are aligned. What's for me is mine. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of. I've been refined, beauty's divine. All things in God's time. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman.
Welcome to episode 9 of the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast. This week we're covering the brains aspect of leveling up your dating life. And just to cover all the housekeeping, Whole Lotta Women Wednesday has already started, so make sure you check out the interview. This week's Whole Lotta Woman is Ashley Wingate. Her interview is on the podcast and on the YouTube channel, so please make sure you check it out, support her, leave a comment. Also, the nomination form for Whole Lotta Woman Wednesdays will be in the show notes as well. If you want to nominate yourself or a friend, you're welcome to do that. We have a few spots left for 2022. When I say a few, I mean like 3 or 4. But then we'll be doing the registration for 2023. Now I have 52 open spots for that. So don't forget about that. And don't forget to rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. And leave me a voice message. I'm going to play a voice message from a whole lot of woman named Vanessa that I met this weekend at a conference. She's a great person. She was so nice. We clicked really fast as soon as she walked in. And what Vanessa does is she helps people get the SBA certification. So if you want to be like a certified black-owned business, certified, woman-owned business, things like that, she helps getting you certified. So me and her are going to be working together on that for me, and she is going to be coming on the podcast. But I'm going to insert a clip from a voice note she left after listening to the podcast. And last but not least, don't forget, y'all, to check out the YouTube channel, y'all. Like I said, the Whole Lotta Woman interview is up there, so you get a visual of the actual interview with me and Ashley. So it's just a visual version. It's the same thing, but visual. So the people that like that, the YouTube link will be in the show notes. Okay, so now what I'm about to do is let you guys hear the message that Vanessa left as far as her feedback on the podcast.
Hello, Nikita. This is Vanessa. I want to thank you for these wonderful podcast topics and let you know that they are actually becoming a little addictive. Sort of like looking forward to a mini series every day. Thank you. Great work.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about as far as using your brain to level up your dating process is being precautious. That is very important. And precaution means being proactive and not reactive. So the first thing is, do not let people know where you live. And we're in a dating time where people are meeting online. We're just not meeting people in the store, in the mall, through a friend anymore. So be precautious and don't let people know where you live, especially if you met them online. Protect your home. That's your safe space. That's your sanctuary. So just always keep that in mind, and think about if you drove on a date. You should always drive when you first meet somebody, or take an Uber. Don't let them take you. But even after the date, don't go straight home. And don't tell them you're going straight home. And you could take the long way around. So when you're talking to your date, you could say something like, oh yeah, I got to stop by my brother house, my uncle house, somebody that might sound a little intimidating. Don't just say you're going to your sister house, your best friend house. say you figure out some kind of makeup, some kind of male figure, that you have to go see after this. So that way it shows that you have someone someone that's there to protect you. And then it also shows that you're not going straight home. So if your plan was to follow me, it's not going to work tonight because I'm not even going home. So think about that. And don't tell somebody you live alone. Lie and say you have a roommate. And when they ask about the roommate, just say she out of town right now, or she's just out. She at her boyfriend's house. Don't say she out of town. Say she at her boyfriend's house, or she's out and about. You don't know where she at. You don't know what time she come home. She could walk in the door any moment. So just never let nobody know how you really move, because you don't want somebody clocking you and clocking your routine, and then knowing when your roommate is gonna be at work and when you gonna be home alone. You don't want somebody that you're not even aware of like that to know all that kind of stuff about you. And they can use that information to harass you at a later time. Like, even if the date goes good and y'all date for a couple months, or I ain't gonna say a couple months because by the time they would know you live. But like, let's say it's somebody, the first week was all good, but that second week they got a little weird. You know what I mean? If you already done let this person know where you live, they can harass you, and you can't just up and move because somebody is harassing you. You can't just break your lease like that, and you might not have money like that to just up and move, and moving is a hassle in the first place. So think about that. So be precautious instead of reactive. You know what I'm saying? Proactive instead of reactive. And you have to consider the fact that there is not a lot of protection for women that's being stalked and stuff like that. The person literally has to murder you for it to be a big deal, because what are they going to do? Oh, I saw this dude here. I saw this dude there. He was driving past my house. What is the police going to really do about it? Nothing. So protect yourself. You don't want that anxiety. You don't want that stress on you. Having a gun, that means you're preparing for somebody to really come in and do something to you. Let's not get it to that point. That's going to be a reaction to somebody coming into your house that you met off Tinder or Twitter or whatever, when in reality, you should have never shown that person where you live. And you have to also consider, if you live with other people, you're putting them at risk. You can't just let everybody know where you live. And then when you fall out with Paul, now he ready to shoot up the house, and you got a whole roommate that don't know none of this going on, or your mom and daddy in there don't know nothing going on, and you just putting everybody at risk, your little siblings, anybody. So don't be selfish. Be smart. And then the next thing is, like, don't assume you know somebody just because y'all been texting for a couple months or talking and FaceTiming for a couple weeks. It's women that be married to serial killers, y'all. They don't know their own husbands. So don't think you know somebody so well after a month or two that you can just trust them, because that's not how it works. And it's like, no matter how long you talk to somebody, you still might not know them, especially if y'all doing that long distance stuff, because you only know them on the phone. You don't know what they do when they hang up the phone. And don't believe the homeboy that do the vouching for them. Boys is gonna stick together just like you stick up for your girls. And the thing is, all guys don't know every side to their homeboy. You know what I mean? And so think about it. A predator don't just tell all their friends they're predators, unless their friends is predators too. And that's a problem. That's a problem in itself. So keep that in mind. Like I said, it's been women married to serial killers and didn't know what they were doing. So don't think nobody can't get nothing past you. Okay? Just, take notes during the honeymoon phase and, the talking phase, and try to recognize if they have any unhealthy patterns like controlling behavior, lying, manipulating, stuff like that. Keep your eye open. So my mom told me about this thing from back in the day that it's called treat or trot. So what that treat or trot means, if a guy take you out on a date and he propositions you for sex, if you don't have sex with him, you have to walk home. So either give him the treat or trot your ass home. You know. So my mom told me about a night where she went out with a guy, and mind you, this is back in the day. This is what, the 70s, okay? So this ain't no Tinder. This is organic as it get, you know. I forgot where she said she met him, but this was back in the day. So she said basically they hung out or whatever, and then she said he basically told her she got to treat or trot, you know what I mean? But he was also kind of being a little aggressive too, so it seemed like he was going to force the treat if she had said no. So she was like, she basically said she had to use the bathroom or whatever and got up out of there and started walking home, you know. So she said on the way home, she came a part of the neighborhood where everybody hang out and stuff like that. So she runs into what we would call like the that nigga. You know what I mean? Like the head honcho in the area, whatever, like the dude that people were scared of and stuff like that. But he was cool with her or whatever. And he asked her what she was doing out in that area because she a good girl. So what you doing on the block, pretty much. And so she was like, oh, I had to treat or trot. And he was like, oh, well, let me make sure you get home straight. So hold on. So he called one of his little lackeys, you know what I'm saying, to take my mama home. Mind you, she know him too. They from the same, all these people from the same neighborhood. They know each other. So she say, this one who asked to take her, that he sent to take her home, she say, he about my size, mind you. My mama 4'11", so she probably talking about the dude about 5 foot. She told us some, girl, she said the drive home was fine. She said we get in front of the house, I had to fight him off too. And she said, girl, by the time I got in that house, I was wore out. Like, she had to fight off 2 men in one night. So, and these people she grew up with and she knew. So, don't think y'all know somebody. If she went to elementary school with these people, you know what I mean? And they try to take advantage. So, it's nothing new. That's why my mama always told me, you know, always protect yourself. Don't let nobody know your actual moves. You know what I'm saying? Have your own money on you. It's a lot of lessons that you need to know. Like Bree said in the other episode, in the reputation episode, Bree said her mama taught her, when you out with people, take water shots too. Don't just be getting sloppy drunk. You see how people treat you when they think you drunk though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of gems that mamas really be dropping because they really been through stuff. You know, when you a teenager and you think your mama don't know nothing because she ain't nothing but your mama, is one thing. But when you get grown and you recognize your mama as a woman and you realize, like, oh, mama knows some stuff, mama been through some stuff, then you actually start taking heed to what your mama is saying because it'll protect you in the long run. And so for all y'all that haven't gotten these messages from y'all mama, I'm here to tell y'all, because every mama don't know every lesson. You know, I had never heard the water shot thing until Bree said it. Now, the thing is, my mama takes water shots. That's just to keep herself from having a hangover. She taught me that, to drink water with your liquor. But I had never been told in the perspective that Bree's mom told her. So, these are just gems, you know, we passing around. And another thing, tell somebody who you are with. You know, give somebody a description of your date. It's 2022. Give them a picture if you can. As much information as you can, because if anything happens to you, you want the police to already have a good starting point, something to go off of, you know, not just a nickname. Share your location with somebody. Me and my friends do that, because I need to be able to track you if things go wrong, at least last location. We got all this technology out here. It's for a reason. Because you don't want to try to be so low-key that if something happens to you, you can't be found. You know, now we trying to figure out who you with. We trying to tell the police, and all we know is his name was Tony. That's all we got. We don't know if that's his real name, a fake name, full name. We don't know. You know, sneak a picture of the license plate if you can. You know, as you approach the car, like as you walking up, try to sneak a picture of the license plate of the car and then text it to somebody, along with a picture of the dude, because we can see what he got on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what everybody got. I want full descriptions if possible, first name, last name. Get the people real names, y'all. Police can't do nothing with little Tony, okay? They just can't. So do that. And I know it might sound corny, but at the end of the day, why are you going out doing stuff with somebody that you don't even know their real name? Like, it might sound corny, but the world is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? If I can't ask you your first and last name, why am I drinking liquor with you and letting my guard down? I'm putting myself in vulnerable situations with you, riding in your car. We can get an accident. Anything can happen. You can have something in the car. Why am I putting myself at risk for somebody named Lil Tony that won't tell me his real first name and last name? Like, when I was on a girls trip, I had to do that for one of my girls. Like, one of the people that on the trip, she wanted to, slide with somebody else. And it was like, okay, we don't know this person. So it was so off guard. But once she made the statement that she was sliding, I was like, all right. I started snapping pictures. I got a picture of him and her standing beside him in his car. And I went around in the back and got a picture of the license plate. And I had to do that for her protection because she wasn't thinking about it. But we out of town. We definitely don't know these folks. We definitely wouldn't have nothing to go off of. So I got to have something. I got to get something. He keep telling me a nickname. His friend vouching for him. At the end of the night, I told his homeboy, I was like, bruh, you're cool, but I don't know you either. So you vouching for your mans don't do nothing for me at all. So I had to do what I had to do. And the thing is, when we got back to the room and I looked at that picture of the license plate, y'all, it was expired rental tag. So what was really going to happen if something happened to her? It's expired. That means that car is probably listed as stolen at this point. So now you're riding around with a car thief. You know what I mean? It was a Rolls Royce, so it's a foreign car thief. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. So make sure, and we made her sure she had her location on and all that kind of stuff. But protect yourself. Don't expect or hope that you're going to have friends that's going to do it for you. Do it for yourself. Be smart. You know what I'm saying? Have fun, but be smart. And I don't know if y'all ever heard about mad money, but that's money that you need to have in case of emergency on a date. Don't ever go on a date butt naked broke. And y'all girls be talking about, I want a man to pay and he better pay and this, that, and other. A man ain't got to do nothing at the end of the day, okay? So keep that in mind. You could be cute, but you ain't all that. If he got his motives, he gonna do he gonna play his game his way, and you don't know how that's gonna leave you. So mad money is for, in case he don't have any money, he actually didn't bring enough to pay for the date, and you not trying to be in there washing dishes, have enough money to pay for your meal. So think you better be sizing them up when you ordering, because don't over order more than you can pay, and then you stuck. You ordered $100 worth of food, but you only brought $40 with you. That's not the same kind of mad money I'm talking about. You stay in your lane, okay? Especially if you're not sure. A first date, you're not sure, girl. You're not sure, because it's one thing if he don't have the money. It's another thing if he got the money, but he's telling you that if he pay for this meal, you're going to owe him XYZ. Now, what position do that leave you in? It's the first date. What if you don't want to do XYZ? Your option is to pay for your own food and get yourself out of there. Don't ride home with somebody who puts you in that kind of place either, in that kind of situation, because who says you're going to make it home? Who says they're going to take you straight home? So you need to have your money for your food and the money for your Uber. Or you need to have loyal friends on standby that you know that's going to come scoop you up. But don't just go out here because you see these girls on Instagram talking about, oh, my man got to pay for any dude that take me out got to pay XYZ, and you got to take me to a 5-star meal. Girl, if he taking you to a 5-star, if he taking you to Jack in the Box, have your own money. I ain't saying you got to pay, but if things get a little shaky, you need to be able to have your own money so you can pay. You got to. And see, and that leads me into like the whole transportation aspect of dating. Like when you first start going on dates with somebody, I feel that you need to take your own car the first few times or take a Uber. Do not let somebody pick you up. I already told you about letting people know where you stay. But the thing is, I've had people pick me up from friends' houses. In reality, you need to be driving because this ensures the fact that you can leave anytime you want, whenever you're ready. If things get weird or shaky or, you know what I'm saying, a little creepy, you can get out of there. Dangerous, you don't know if he got ops after him, whatever. You get yourself up out of there. And it also avoids an awkward ride home. I had to tell this dude, like me and my friend had, gave us each other numbers when we was texting a little bit. And so we was supposed to be going out to eat, but he didn't have a car. And my thing is, okay, it's okay if you don't have a car, but you need to be able to get yourself places, not me get you there. And he didn't understand why I didn't want to pick him up. And I'm like, no, I don't know you like that. What if we go on this date and we don't click? And I don't want to have that awkward ride home that I got to take you back. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, no, if it go bad, I want to be able to just go home and get in the car and call my friends and say how bad the date was. No, not after awkward silence ride you home. No. And I don't know you like that. And you a little hood. I don't mind you being hood, but hood niggas always need you to stop at the store and do some more stuff. I'm not doing this. They always do the most. I ain't never met a hood dude that just go from point A to point B. I've never in my life. And like I said before, take the long way home. Don't go straight home because you don't know if somebody is following you. Try to get an eye on what kind of car he's getting into. But if you don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, or it's just the way things line up, you don't see it, don't go straight home. And, in the conversation, if he's asking you about what's your plans after, say, like I said, you're going to an uncle house, a brother house, your stepdaddy house, some kind of male figure that don't play about you. Okay? So that's what you need to do. Don't just say you going to your homegirl house, because he needs to have an understanding that you got some kind of protection around you. And if you do feel like you being followed, definitely don't go straight home. You need to stop in a public area. Do the full right turn things if you in a place where you can make full right turns to see if they, following you in a circle. But if you can't, definitely drive yourself to a police precinct or a public area. But you need to be calling the police 911 in the meantime, just to make sure that keep yourself covered. Karen's calling for every other thing, so you could call them if you feel scared, until you feel safe. That's they're supposed to protect and serve. That's what the protecting is. And then just to reiterate what I said before, even if you have them pick you up, because different people have different situations. Everybody can't afford an Uber. Everybody ain't got a car. You know what I mean? But get a picture of the license plate and the dude and send it to somebody. Don't try to be so low key and not send it to your girls, because you don't want them to try to holler at him and stuff like that. Like I said, if you come up missing or something happens to you, that you have no description or no way to tell nobody about this man. Nobody can say what this dude looked like that you was with. And when you're out with these guys, I mean, not just guys, when you're out on these dates, make sure you watch your drink. Like I said before, just because you've been texting little Tony for 3 months and y'all be FaceTiming and falling asleep on the phone, do not trust little Tony around your drink. Dudes be real dedicated when they have a motive. So that FaceTiming and being a lover boy for 3 months, dudes can do that. That's nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just an act. They can do that if the end goal is to get some. They know you got a 3-month rule. I can go 3 months. I can act right for 3 months. And then I can get what I want and go. It's happened to plenty of girls before, So keep in mind, you don't know little Tony. You don't know this person yet. And you don't know their intentions. So, and when I say watch your drink, like if y'all go out for drinks and you got to go to the bathroom now, Don't tell him, oh, watch my drink for me. Girl, you need to be watching your drink from him. Who else gonna slip something in your drink besides the Mr. Tony from Tinder? Okay? So keep your head on straight. And if you need to throw that drink back real quick before you go to the bathroom, you do that. You do that. But don't trust anybody around your drink but yourself. It's just like going to a frat party, girl. Think about it. Yeah, don't just assume that your date is trustworthy just because you done had a few laughs and phone calls. That's not enough. People are very slick, and you can't make it easy for them. Okay, like they slick. Don't let nobody. When you go to the bar, you carry your drink, and that's on a date or off a date. If dudes want to buy you drinks from the bar, you have to go to the bar to get the drink yourself. Don't let them carry over and you watching. Go on YouTube and watch the different ways they know how to slip pills into drinks. People is slick. They magicians with it, okay? Like this is a sport for some people. So you got to think like that. Some people are actual predators and they don't have it written across their forehead. And I'm gonna actually put a link in the show notes for the little thing that you cover your drink with. It's supposed to be like a hair. It look like a scrunchie on your wrist, but it's something you put over top of your drink to protect people from getting roofied. So I'm gonna put a link to that in there too, because that's good for your girls in college and the girls that's out partying and stuff like that. So get that for your daughters, nieces, friends, stuff like that. I'll definitely put that in the notes. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is background checks. Now, if you can afford it, it's plenty of things online you could do to find out a person's background, but sometimes you do have to be your own detective and really see what's going on with a person, especially with this online dating. But also, if you get red flags, some stories not adding up, you can't get certain information out of the person, like it might be best to do a background check, because it's a lot of women out here that's got scammed or dated ex-cons, molesters, murderers. You don't want to get caught up in that. You definitely don't. You know what I'm saying? I had to tell somebody, now, when you can't afford it. Now, I had to tell somebody one time, this lady I was talking to, she was saying that her son, he won't missing, but he was like, I guess trying to hide from her, because I think she was saying something about he was scared she was going to tell the police on him or something. Like her son was like, done did something, and he was on the run. That's what it was. He was on the run, and she was trying to find him or whatever. And she was just saying like, oh, I tried this. It was just about, oh, I called his phone, and he don't be answering. He be sending me the voicemail. And I told her, I said, girl, you need to look for him like a mad baby mama. Okay, you looking for him just like a regular mama that ain't got an issue. I said, no. How them baby mamas be? You need to be on his homeboy pages. You need to be on the girlfriend pages. You need to be on everybody page from his hood. Okay, everybody he hang with. You need to be on their pages, watching their stories to see if you see your son in any of that stuff. That's how you gonna find them. I was like, that's the first step. I ain't gonna say that's necessarily how you gonna find them, but that's the first step. And you watch from there, and you message from there, you make your fake pages, you do what you gotta do, you catfish. You lure your son to the spot if you got to, so be creative with your background checks. Sometimes you gotta change perspective, and get creative. Sometimes you gotta enlist your friends. My homegirl, I ain't gonna say her name, but I call her like the FBI. I give her a name. Matter of fact, I remember I was talking to this dude I had met at the club, right? And I just basically gave her the name and stuff like that, so she go looking. So she tell me he got a daughter and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, dang, we've been talking for about a month. He ain't told me nothing about no daughter. I was like, well, I'm just gonna see, how long he wait to tell me. And me and him been talking for like 2 or 3 months. And I mean, he ain't never tell me he had a daughter, and I just thought that was so strange. So strange. I ain't asked, but why you ain't tell me? That's your child. Ain't you supposed to be proud? I just feel like if you was proud. I ain't say I had to meet the little girl, but you just gonna not mention her at all. I mean, you got pictures with her at her elementary school and stuff. You an active father. So it ain't even like you a deadbeat. This looked like it was last week. I see all the stages of the little girl life. You're there. You're in her life. So you just ain't telling nobody nothing. I just thought that was weird. But yeah, get creative when you doing your background check, websites. Some people use the tax website. I forgot what my homegirl said. What information you can get the address if you know their first and last name, and you go to the the voter registration website. You can get stuff like that. Baby, it's easy out here. Of course, y'all know the Facebooks. LinkedIn is a plug, they say. So be creative. Be creative. Okay. Another thing you have to pay attention to is location. The location of the first date or the first few dates is very important. Don't go to their house the first few times. Okay? A public location is always best, especially if you met the person online. You don't know somebody just because y'all text and FaceTime. Because I know they go a long way for some people. And it doesn't mean anything. Okay? And people can hide who they really are over the phone. Please keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. And people can switch up in real life once you're alone with them. People can be hype and cool over text and have a vibe and all that kind of stuff. And then when you get with them in person, it could be a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? People could switch up on you. They could be nice on the phone and mean, you know what I'm saying, in real life. Just do the whole Jekyll and Hyde situation. Nice for the first 5 minutes. And then once they get you alone, they switch up on you now that you trapped. You know what I'm saying? And then during them FaceTime calls, though, pay attention to their living conditions before you do decide to go to their house. Pay attention to the living conditions, the stuff they say about it, who they say they live with, you know what I'm saying? While y'all on FaceTime, look at if the house is neat or dirty, you know what I'm saying? Because if you do eventually end up going over there and they trying to sleep with you, you want to do it on a nasty mattress, you know what I'm saying, or an air mattress, a pallet on the floor. They might not even really have a bed, that you got to pay attention to stuff, Oh my God, let me tell y'all. So me not knowing somebody's, living condition. Now, his spot was neat. Now, this is before FaceTime and stuff like that, but I had been hanging out with this guy that had went to my school, my college, but this is after college or whatever. But he lived in my neighborhood, my apartment complex, and so I had been going over there chilling with this man. You know what I'm saying? Whole bunch of times. After I stopped chilling with him, I come to find out he lived with his baby mama, and she had just been at work all them times, and they had a generic house. Like the house was always neat because number one, he was a neat freak. I worked with him, and I knew how serious he took, keeping his stuff straight. So I couldn't go off of that saying, oh, it's so neat in here, it had to be a woman. No, I knew he was a neat freak. So they didn't have like family pictures up or, like couple pictures up in picture frames or nothing like that. Yeah, I had been in there the whole time. That girl could have came in and bust me upside my head, anything. Like, I won't sleeping with him. It wasn't like that. But I ain't trying to be in the living room when she walk in the door from a hard day's work either. Like, and see, who is this guy? And the thing is, she would have known and seen me before because she went to my school too. Back in the day, like, this is like a couple years after graduation. So I don't know that they together and live together. All I know is I come over here, my homegirl, we done chill over here. Like, it ain't never been no baby mama walking in and out. And I think, this was before they had kids. But, like, either way, like, I'm in a whole nother woman's domain, and I did not know that. So I was putting myself at risk and didn't know it. He was putting me at risk, and he knew it. So Don't expect these people to protect you. It don't. They got their own motives and their own things they're trying to gain out of the situation. So it could be anybody house y'all in. I know y'all done seen them videos on Facebook with a girl coming in and her man laid up with another girl on the house after she done moved out. They got a pallet on the floor, air mattresses. You know what I'm saying? The girl was like, I knew something was wrong. I can't believe you did this. That's wrong. You don't do people like this. You don't do people like this. I'm sorry, girl. But that's embarrassing. Don't end up on Facebook because you tried to have a little sneaky link and you just didn't feel the need to go out in public or make him put in the effort. You just gonna go slide over here and sit on this air mattress and take a nap and then get woke up by being on Facebook Live. Don't let it be you. Don't be sleeping in no trap houses. Okay, another thing I want to say is, ladies, protect yourself out here on these dates. And when I say protect yourself, I'm talking about carry a weapon of some sort, pepper spray, get one of them self-defense keychains, but also carry some condoms. Carry your own condoms with you. That's not hoish, that's being prepared, especially if you know you're going to get down, That's just being prepared, because you don't want to get there and he's saying that, oh, he don't have one, but oh, let me still just do it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no such thing as a little bit. It's never going to be just a little bit, because some dudes will try that, and then if he only got one and it breaks, what y'all gonna do? Y'all still might be in the mood. Some people just proceed without, and then you could end up with something itching next week or next day, or a baby in 9 months. You rolling the dice, because you don't know where this person was before they was with you. You don't know. So be prepared and protect yourself in all ways. Like I said, self-defense as far as weapon, and then protect your body as far as having condoms of your own. And a phone charger. Keep you a phone charger with you and a power block if you can. But you need to get you a power block for real, because it's not gonna help you if the phone charger, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you got the phone charger, but you don't have nowhere to plug it up at, and y'all out and about, and you feeling a little nervous, So have your own back all the time. Because especially if you the type that's going to kill your battery, taking a lot of pictures or videos, you going live and stuff like that, your battery die. You know how your phone is, because we all have had that phone that go dead real quick. Now, that don't stop us from using all the apps and doing all the stuff. So at least be prepared, Don't do all that taking pictures and going live and then something happen and you can't call 911, or you can't call yourself an Uber just to get out. You know what I'm saying? You can't slide on the low because you done killed your battery with all these lives of this horrible, dangerous date that you on. And don't be on live telling them to call 911 when you can call 911 yourself, okay? And also, just in case his dies, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might need phone for directions and his go dead. What y'all gonna do if both of y'all phones dead and y'all somewhere and don't know how to get back? Because everybody that ain't good with directions. I'm personally a person that's not good with directions. So what y'all gonna do? Think about it. And when you drive, when you are driving on your dates and stuff like that, have enough gas to get you home from a far distance, okay? Because you don't know where you can end up. Anything can happen, okay? And like sometimes when you head to a spot, you don't realize how far it really, really is. You know what I'm saying? Until you down the road. You know what I'm saying? And you might be good going there, but are you going to have the same amount of gas to get back? And you might not want to ask your your date for no gas money. Pride might be too high. It's too early. You don't want to owe nothing. There's a lot of reasons that you wouldn't want to ask. I know I wouldn't want to ask nobody for no money on no first date. personally, for any reason. I don't want to look broke. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So just be prepared. You know what I'm saying? And don't trust when somebody offers to give you gas money. I'm going to give you the gas money when you get here. I've heard that before, and I didn't get the gas money. Okay? And I just had an attitude. So it's 2022. Tell them to cash app you before you come. If they throw out that they're going to give out gas money, give it to me now. Give it to me for the car to move. I need gas before I get there. Not on the way back. I need gas now. And last but not least, trust yourself. Always trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. So trust yourself. Get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about looking weird or jumping the gun or just assuming it's better to just be safe than sorry. That's just always going to be the rule of thumb. One of my favorite podcasts, you know, they motto is stay sexy, don't get murdered. And the podcast is my favorite murder. I love that podcast. But yeah, their motto is stay sexy, don't get murdered. And what that means is don't worry about trying to be cute and all this kind of stuff and being rude or offending somebody. Do what you got to do. So it's like when you see somebody walking in front of your car and you want to lock the doors, but you don't want to lock it because you don't want them to hear it click. Girl, you better lock them doors and don't worry about how they feel about it, because at the end of the day, you still sexy and you ain't dead. Okay? You still here. Stay sexy, don't get murdered. Pay attention. Oh, no. I was gonna say, I also advise being sober heading into the date so you can catch red flags. I know, you know, you might want to have a little glass of wine or something for nerves, but don't go on the date already intoxicated, because you're not going to be able to catch certain things that you're going to need to be aware of. Okay, so keep that in mind, you know, and you don't want to get intoxicated around people you don't know and you don't trust. Like I said, a couple FaceTimes over a couple months is not knowing somebody. So please. And pay attention to everything, you know, when you are out on the date. You know, observe the car he drives, and if things match up with what he said during y'all talking phase. You know what I'm saying? Like, did he say he had this kind of car? Did he say he had a car he didn't? You know what I mean? Did he say that he was light-skinned and he dark-skinned? Did he say that he had hair but he really catfishing? Just see if stuff line up. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I mean. And, you know, just keep a little tally. You know what I'm saying? Observe how he treats people during your date. Like, is he too flirtatious? Is he rude to the waiter? Those things matter. Like, I know I went on a date with this man one time, and we was going to Hooters, and we was meeting there. And so I'm talking to him all the way to the time I get to Hooters, okay? And I'm like, all right. So I was like, I'm here. So I got off the phone, parked the car, walked in. I look around. I don't see him. And then something tells me to, like, look to my left. I look over. He all in the Hooters girl face, flirting hard. You know what I'm saying? Just flirting. And it's like, I had called his phone once I had got in there, and he hadn't answered. I was like, so you really ignore my calls so you can continue to flirt with the Hooters girl? Like, and that was basically a whole reconnect situation. Like, we had talked and hung out back in the day, and I stopped talking to him, and then I was like, okay, let me try this again. And it's like, oh, this is why I stopped talking to you. That wasn't the reason, but it was good enough as ever. Like I said before, get a picture of the license plate just in case you need it at a later date. So I'm saying that now because it's like, it's one thing if y'all get along and y'all start dating and stuff like that, things go well for a few months, but then y'all fall out and it's some kind of way that you need to track him or get back in touch with him or report him or something like that, you have the information you need. That's when you better get the person first and last name, get all the necessary information that you will need while y'all get along. Okay? All the stuff you gonna need to know after y'all fall out, get the information while y'all cool. You know what I'm saying? You need to know apartment complex he stay in, his job, first and last name, middle initial, full middle name if you can. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, siblings, names. Figure it out and get that information. Okay? All the stuff you need to know about somebody in the past that you had to dig up, get this stuff during the cool phases. Now, don't just be running it down like, so what's your name? What's your mama name? What neighborhood you grew up in? What's your best friend name? Where he be at? Like, I ain't say run it down like that. You got to work it in. You got to finesse it, girl. You got to finesse it. And don't tell him about, like I said, all your tea. Don't give him all your tea. Don't let him know you going straight home after this. Don't let him know that you stay alone. He don't need to know none of that until you actually know he is trustworthy. So that means don't give it all away during the talking phase either. Okay? Okay. And always have an escape plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go out, have a escape plan. And that's when I say the mad money comes in. You know, that's when having your phone charged come in. Because if you at a restaurant and you see that it's kind of going left and he's saying, yeah, if I spend $200 on this dinner, we got to go back to my apartment. You owe me. And you know what I'm saying? And you like, okay, this ain't going to work. What you need to be able to do is get to that restaurant, call your Uber, let the waitress know, I'm about to slide. You know what I'm saying? You can tip her, pay her for your part if you like. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want this mug hunting you down for this $200 dinner, you might want to pay for your part and hide in the bathroom or tell the waitress to tell you somewhere to go. You can go hide until that Uber come without old boy seeing you. You know what I mean? From the bathroom to the exit, old boy needs not see you. Okay? So have an escape plan. Is very necessary. Make your quiet and safe exit. Don't say, I'm about to leave. I'm about to do this. Don't make it a grand thing, where it's going to be a scene and he can physically try to stop you. It'll be bigger than what it needs to be. So safety is going to always come first. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody can't handle rejection, and y'all need to know that. Like, it's men that kill women. It's not just be sad about it. Like, these incels ain't no joke. Okay? And they ain't all sitting in basements. Okay? Like, these red pill men, the Kevin Samuel sons, they rising up, y'all. So just be prepared, All right. So thank you all for listening and being a part of this growing community. That's it for this week's episode of the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast. But before we go, I just want to ask you all to leave a review. It really, really helps me in the algorithm, or send me a voice message like Vanessa did. And if you hit the link in the show notes, all you have to do is scroll down to the part that says message, and it'll allow you to leave me a voice note. So you can send me some topic ideas, some feedback on the podcast, thoughts about topics that you want to hear discussed, or just say hello, give me a little shout out. So that's all for this week's podcast, and tune in next week for the strength segment. Okay? And always remember, beauty, brains, strength, and standards all will make you a whole lot of woman.
I won't be defined, stars are aligned. What's for me is mine. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of. I've been refined, beauty's divine. All things in God's time. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman.